Hey everyone, Rose Waltz here, and in case you didn't catch my last couple fighting game videos, I have started to kind of take a competitive edge into my fighting games. Well, specifically Tekken, and only Tekken. I don't think I'm capable of juggling any other fighting games along with Tekken, so I've basically just been focusing on that. I've even been going to locals, and while I haven't cracked a top 8 yet, my last entry was really close. We were just one place off, we got ninth, and having this kind of competitive feeling again is really nice. To help do some improvement, I've even set a goal for myself to reach Tekken King in ranked mode, and I did that. But from playing at locals and playing in Tekken King Plus tier, I've noticed that I'm not very good at high level Tekken. And now granted, this video is not to rant about prowess matchmaking, which I know is a super hot button topic right now. I actually quite enjoy playing people of a higher skill level. It's the only way I'm gonna get any better, let alone good enough to actually place well at a local. No, what I really want to talk about with this video is just how differently you kind of have to play Tekken when you get to a higher rank. For lack of a better word, you have to play real Tekken, as much as I hate saying that. Now, what I mean by that is a couple of things, but I guess the easiest way is to just give a great example. My character that I play is Nina, and she has a lot of strings. However, a lot of these strings, when people know them, are incredibly unsafe. For example, a lot of my favorite strings that end in gunshots, like QCF 4-3 1+2 or While Rising 1 1+2, I pretty much can't extend into the gunshots anymore unless it's in a combo. As far as I can tell, these strings are not hit confirmable, and opponents can just duck the gunshots if they know they're coming. It is a bit of a bummer because it is some of my favorite moves to just pull out the two guns, and getting that chip damage is super nice. However, it's just not gonna cut it at these higher ranks, even if I was able to get through blue with a lot of these kind of fake strings. I've got B-roll footage playing of some of my matches that I played on stream going up through blue ranks, and you can see I'm getting away with probably a lot more than I should. Another big example is Nina's down 4-1 string. Down 4 is a really great move. It's a fast low that can interrupt a lot of offense, but committing into the string is pretty bad. The string does not jail on anything except for counter hit, which means the opponent can just duck and launch punish you, and if you try to go into the sidestep route off of the down 4, it's slow enough that you're gonna get launch punished on even the same timing as the normal down 4-1 string launch punish. Once I got to Tekken King and once I started playing at locals, I noticed the game kind of changed. No longer can I assume I'll get free chip damage off of doing these duckable strings. No longer can I just kind of aimlessly go into sidestep pressure and just assume I won't get jabbed out of it. Suddenly things are a lot tougher to actually get damage and start your pressure, and a lot of times you're gonna have to commit to a mix, and if you want to keep it safe, you're gonna just not be able to steal your turn back because your opponents will absolutely be able to stop you. For example, down 4-1 was how I stole a lot of turns back, and it gets me killed more often than not now. Suddenly I find myself relying a lot more on safer strings, things like down back 2, things like Nina's 1-4, these mids that are safe on block, but they are susceptible occasionally to getting counter hit. Suddenly the game has become less about let me run my offense and see how the opponent reacts to it, and more like, oh, I have to defend correctly, I have to create a whiff, I have to create a sidestep, because if I try to run my offense and I try to do a safe high option, it's gonna get ducked. If I do an unsafe mid, I'm gonna get punished, and there's really no way around that. The game changes a lot to be more defense and movement focused, and it's really hard to get used to. I had to take a peek at my Tekken hours because truth be told, I'm fairly new to Tekken. I actually only started playing because Bandai Namco Entertainment of America gifted me a key in the old demo days, what was it called? The closed network test for Tekken 8. It was the first time I ever tried Tekken 8. It was a ton of fun, it got me hooked, I even got my ass kicked by Little Majin. However, all that to say, I don't actually have a ton of time in Tekken 8. I'm at 225 hours now, which sounds like a lot, but coming from a legacy game like Tekken that I have no previous knowledge of, it's a drop in the bucket compared to what a lot of these Tekken King Plus players are actually working with. While I could get by going through blue and purple and red, just running my offense and kind of making the opponent deal with the mixes I'm putting on, no longer is that an option. I have to learn what strings are duckable, I have to learn what strings are sidesteppable, and throw breaks, thank God that I've actually been practicing those, are all but necessary. I definitely understand what content creators like FeedX say when they mean small Tekken. You can't throw out these big long strings and expect not to get punished. People are going to know what your character does. Suddenly your game revolves more around safe mid pokes or a low poke here or there, and even throws aren't even consistent anymore. And it's really awkward going from 70 plus persistent throws while you're reaching up through the blue ranks to suddenly 10% consistent throws as people know how to break them. And when your offense doesn't work either and your lows get blocked, it can be a little demoralizing. But I'm actually having a ton of fun playing this Tekken, as much as it is disheartening to have downranked all the way halfway through Bushin again. It's actually a lot of fun being able to hold my own with Tekken Emperors and whatnot every once in a while. Sure, I won't 2-0 them, but if I take a game in this set, I'm normally pretty happy with myself. It means I'm doing something correctly. And even if it means I have to relearn a lot of my offense, relearn a lot of the different throw breaks and stuff, and most importantly, unlearn a lot of bad habits that I did, like trying to steal back turns with down 4-1, or throwing in a jab on minus frames, I'm kind of okay with that because I can also feel myself getting better at Tekken. Now, I expect to struggle a ton in the coming weeks as I learn to adapt to this new kind of Tekken, learn to adapt to players who know how my character works, but I think that's totally okay. I'm gonna try my hardest not to get demoralized, and more importantly, every victory I take against someone who's stronger player than I am, I'm gonna feel really happy, and I'm gonna make sure to look at those VODs and figure out what exactly I did to open them up, because so much of the game now is whiff punishing, counter hitting, spacing, things like that. It's so much more movement based than it was as I was going up through the ranks. And the last thing I want to say with this is, first of all, keep an eye out on my channel. Every Sunday I play fighting games, and on my Twitter I'm absolutely going to post every time I go to a local, and hopefully I'm going to crack top 8 very soon. But the other thing that I want to say actually to all the people watching and playing Tekken and maybe around the same rank I am, or maybe are starting their own climb as well, don't be disheartened if you get beat. Tekken is a very complex game. There are a lot of moving parts, and it's why I don't think I can play any other game competitively along with Tekken. It just, as much as fighting games are similar, I feel like every time I try too hard at another fighting game, I unlearn something from Tekken. Most importantly with 2D fighters, I forget that crouch block is kind of the standard, since in Tekken you don't want to be doing that too often unless you know a low is coming. But don't get disheartened. There's always going to be people who are better than you at Tekken, and even though the ranked mode might be sending you out to the wolves every once in a while to really just get your ass beat, do try to think about the things that are fun. Think about how you're actually defending and how you're opening people up, because I think all of that is way more exciting than hitting a cool combo. As much as I like doing my bread and butter combo to the wall, I think it's way more exciting to get a successful sidestep or a successful low block into a while rising punish than it is to do the same combo I've been doing for the last 200 hours. So in any case, don't get discouraged, because I totally understand where you're coming from. I'm going up against this wall, this plateau now, and maybe I'll make another video when I overcome it, but for now I've got a long ways to go in my Tekken journey still, and thank you for watching.